Hey, what's up? It's Ken from Flowtricks, doing this impromptu thing. I thought it'd be kind of fun. I don't know what you all are doing on a Saturday night, but for me, I just had some spare time, so thought I'd go over. I have a lot of YouTube comments to get back to, and instead of typing it, I thought we'd go over it together. Give me just a second while I finish setting this up here. Just a moment. We've got this, where is it, right? Gray bar, right? There we go. Everything's in reverse. I got this gray bar right over here, trying to turn it into a chat feed. Let me just see if I can get this all set up. Give me just a minute here. Hope everyone's been having a good week so far. Okay. There we go. Should be authorized. Presto. Well, this blank bar is supposed to be a YouTube comments. Of course, it's not working. Give me a second here. This is always the best part. As soon as you start the live stream and... Oh, wait. There we go. We're good. I see something. All right. So again, welcome to Flowtricks. We are going to go over comments that people have left it on YouTube. People that have left on YouTube. I'll also answer some in the comments on YouTube. So like if I can see it in that bar over there, I'll be able to answer your questions as well. But I wanted to tackle a bunch of the comments because I have not caught up to this in a while. I've been out a little bit, dealing with some minor health issues, nothing to be concerned about, but I have had to lay low a little bit while I was getting better. Feeling a little bit better. I think it's just something I'm gonna have to live with for a while though. With that said, I also wanted to talk about a few things. The big one is that starting next month, we're going to start having a monthly instructor. I think this is really exciting because a monthly instructor is going to be someone that teaches alongside with me. They're going to be part of the Patreon. They're going to show, and they're also going to do a couple public videos as well. So what I'm looking at is nunchuck instructors or flow arts instructors on the martial arts side usually though that have an incredible talent and a passion for teaching that want to join up. We're going to feature new artists every month. Tomorrow I am going to showcase our first March artist. He's fantastic and he'll be teaching some of his awesome digital work. I can't wait for you guys to see it. In just a second here. Lighting's still a little bit off. There we go. Better. All right. Want to give it a shout out to... Oh, I can't read that. Give me a second here. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'm pretty excited. I think the whole thing is that I want to keep reinventing Flowtricks a little bit because I've been doing this so long, and for 10 years, you got to think, like, what do you come up with after 10 years of teaching? Like, everything I've taught, I felt like I've already covered a video on. It's not to say that I can't keep learning new things, but there reaches a point where it's like you want to draw other inspirations from other artists because there's a lot of really great nunchuck spinners out there, as well as other flow art spinners for that matter. So I think it'd be kind of cool. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that I'm leaving either. It just means that we're going to get some more variety, which is pretty sweet. Give me one more second here. I want to make sure that I can read these comments too. So it's going to be a second here. It's more variety. There we go. So I want to give two shout outs right now. I see that there's SMRD Pirates Dangerous. What's up? And History Pete's. What is happening? Good to see you. Thanks for joining the chat. Like I said, we're going to go over comments. I'm going to go over if people have questions. They left questions in the comments. I can even talk a little bit behind the scenes about some of these videos that I've made. But let's just jump right in and see what we got. Let's jump over to the web. So Mr. Bonnie 3 hours ago said this was fun, and they're talking about the 5 stylish ways to unleash your sword, and that is a funny video. I'm glad you had fun, Mr. Bonnie. But that video, I have had more lawyers come at me, like ninja lawyers is what we'll call them, ninja lawyers, where they're like, you can't do that with the sword. You're going to hurt somebody. You need to take this down. Like, just go to the 5 ways to unsheath your sword and you'll see, like, there's some people that are really, yeah, they're triggered. They're triggered by the fact that this video exists, and I think it's hilarious because I mentioned right away that this is for flow and this isn't for fighting, but for some reason, man, I don't know what it is about using martial arts weapons as a performance prop. Some people just can't get it through their head that this can be used as an art, and it's not always about trying to kill someone or like combat. Besides, if you're really trying to get in combat, how often, let me ask you a question, like how often do you literally have a sword next to you or nunchucks next to you? How many times have you ever used that in a real life situation? I mean, I'm preaching to the choir here, obviously, but just think about that for a second. When someone's trying to correct you as if this were a life and death situation, you should be holding lower. It's like, yeah, duh. How many times you got your chucks on you anyways? Like, I just want to know. I think it's hilarious. Oh man. Anyways, yeah. If you want fun drama, that's the most dramatic. It's not horrible, but it's pretty fun. The 5 ways to unsheath your sword. You should just go on it and read some of the comments. It's pretty funny stuff. Pablo, 3 hours ago, he said something in Spanish, so I'm gonna Google Translate. That's how I do it, y'all. It says, "Hey, what's the ideal length of nunchucks?" Look at that. I didn't have to butcher it or anything. The ideal length. I hate to be the guy that says it really depends, but I'm going to say 12 inches is standard. Get it about 12 inches. But 14 inches and you get more contact, Chuck. So if we get longer, you can do more contacty rolls. So it really depends. The ideal string is about your fist for it to fall down. But then again, we've got people like speed chucks, for instance, are very small. Let me go grab these. Hold on. You probably can't even see this. So let's go over here. Give me just a second. Got to turn on the old camera. Boom. Okay. Well, that's no fun. Looks like one of my cameras is having technical difficulties. I was having some problems with my camera earlier. Looks like it's still giving me problems. My computer broke a couple days ago, and I was able to fix most of it, but still having a little wonky issues. So the big, beautiful camera right now is like having some issues. That's all. Hey, I want to give a shout out to a couple new people that joined. We got Santiago. What's up? And then there's Ernie Torres. In today's sensitive society where everyone thinks they're an expert and needs to be heard. Yeah. It's pretty funny, right? I mean, I think the thing that really gets me is like, I've had enough people try to correct me on YouTube to tell me the proper way to do things. And I think it's kind of funny in that, like, these people are usually not anyone, like, they haven't made any videos. They almost always have some sort of anonymous video, like their anonymous YouTube. The thing is what I'm trying to say is a lot of people like, and I'm not saying you guys at all, but I'm saying there's a great deal of people on the internet that like to criticize, but they have nothing to show for themselves. And I think those are the people that like to criticize the most. I feel like the loudest people in this world are usually the people that have done the least, and so they're just kind of taking it out on other people, you know? I don't know. But, you know, I've done this long enough to where I've kind of grown some thick skin over the years, but I can't imagine, like, some people that start something like this, a YouTube channel, and they think, and they're just doing it because they want to share their art, and then you have these lawyers come in and just start chopping them away. I could only imagine how many people have actually quit doing this because of these people. I mean, to be honest, if you want to do these kinds of things, you have to have thick skin because there's always going to be that guy. That guy's always going to be there. You can look at my videos. There's almost always one guy that'll thumb it down. It's like, why are you even watching? Like, you should go. Like, there's no point in staying on all these videos and thumbing it down, but it's totally cool because there's so many people that do like it, but not everyone sees it that way, you know? And it's just too bad. It's just too bad hearing when people quit because of it, because of these kinds of people, you know? I don't know. Anyways, that's my rant. We're gonna keep going here. History Pizza Institute. Yeah. Yep. Kapil says, "What's up, Ken? I'm glad I caught your stream. Hope all is well." Yeah, all's going good. I'm still dealing with some small health issues. Actually, a big one. I guess I'll tell you guys a little bit of it. I lost my ability to focus recently, and I know that sounds weird, but for a person like me, like, I have this intense focus, and that's how I learn everything. And lately, I've had a very hard time being able. So I feel like I'm in the background a lot of times. I don't know if it's anxiety or if it's something else, but it even, like, for me, even doing this stream is kind of tricky because it's like it's hard for me to focus or concentrate, but I'm not going to let that stop me. I figure I'm just going to keep going with it and see where we can go. But I might ramble a little bit more just because of that. There's something going on right now where I just feel like I'm behind a waterfall. I don't know if that makes sense. But whatever it is, I think it's just mostly like the pandemic. There was a lot of difficult things that have happened over this past year and a half on a personal level. mostly because of the pandemic, but there's just, I think everyone's had a hard time, but whatever happened, I think it could have caused some sort of psychological, I don't know, something just snapped, and so it's really hard for me to focus down and to concentrate on things. But I'm doing this. I don't care. So there we go. Let's see here. Josh says, awesome. History Pete says, oh, 100% you hit the nail on the head. Yes, I have a video of smashing boards in free fall. Heck yeah. Oh, okay. And Josh asks, what would you recommend on the rotor pass for making it faster? Now I've got to use this. I've got to use this camera again because my other camera right now isn't working. So I'm just going to kind of adjust this. So the trick to a fast rotor pass. Okay, the trick to a fast anything, there's two ways to be fast with nunchucks that I can tell you right away. The first is that you do a lot of repetitions with the rotor pass, right? Now, obviously, repetition, what you're doing though is when you're doing the repetition, don't just do it without thinking about it. What you're trying to do is you're trying to think about how fast can I go while being as light as possible. What I mean by light is most beginners they use too much effort. Like when you think of an athlete and they're jogging, the reason why they can jog so fast and so long is that their body knows the minimum amount of effort they need to put into this move in order to have it go smoothly. With people that are newer at it, or even if you've only done this move 100 times, 500 times, you still may be lacking as opposed to doing it 1,000 to 2,000 times. So the repetition, what you're trying to do is you're not just doing it over and over again, but you're trying to think about how to use the least amount of energy while making it as fast as possible. What you'll find is you'll have barriers in your own techniques that cause you to become slower because you're too tense. I'm not saying I haven't seen your video, but so when I say you, I mean anyone. This could be anyone. So one is to relax and to just kind of, while you're relaxing though, because obviously if you're relaxed, you can't go as fast as you want, but there's a certain tenseness. You're going to slowly raise up the tenseness until you find that right mix where it's sharp and snappy, but it's also very loose. You want to keep it loose. It's just too often that people are too rigid, too tight, and that's what causes their chucks to slow down. The other thing to think about is as you get better with chucks, I kind of try to say like there's a sensitivity that gets built. And as you get better with chucks, or the more you do chucks, the more you realize you can move less, but it affects things more. So like when you want to go like super fast, you just want to get all these crazy fast motions. What's happening here is I'm extremely loose, like I was talking about, but then it's almost like a belt whipping. There's this moment where all of a sudden I just snap out all my energy all at once, and it happens in a very, very short amount of time, and the rest of the time it's just really relaxed. And the same thing could be happen with the rotor pass. The more you practice it, the more you can kind of find where that snap needs to happen. But what you can see is it's not this smooth transfer where it's a constant thing. It's actually like here, pop. Pop, pop, pop. But then if you're too rigid about it, it slows down again. So you have to do this pop in a very small amount. It's really interesting. It's almost like you're slaloming or you're going down, you're skiing down a hill or whatnot. Because it's almost like you're taking this speed and you're creating a ramp where it goes really fast, and then you have to gradually slow it down. Just let the motion slow itself down, but you're just constantly creating these hills and mountains that accelerate the force, and then you just ride it out from there. And if you can do that, you'll find speed. You'll have speed with a lot of your techniques. So when you're thinking repetition, it's not just repetition, it's the focus on relaxation mixed with tense, the snap, that snap. The thing about the snap that's really important to think about too though is the harder you snap, the more control, like the more fierce, the easier it is to lose control. So a lot of times as you reach a level where you can go really fast, you will send those chucks flying if you miss it, because you've toned it down to the point where you can do minimal effort. So when you put that snap in, it's really about controlling. It gets harder to handle as opposed to when you had less sensitivity and there wasn't as much snap. So keep that in mind as well. It's a lot to get through for sure. I'm going to read a few more and then I'm going to go back to the YouTube comments. Let's see. History repeats. Yeah, that's understandable. Hey Ken, know you're among mates here. Just happy to hear you're soldiering on. This phase will pass. Thank you. I really appreciate that. you know, I don't like talking about myself so much, but at the same time, I just hope you guys understand, like, sometimes I disappear just because I need a break, just because, I don't know, this, like I said, the year's been kind of crazy. But yeah, you're right, this will pass, and you got to make sure, like, regardless, like I always say, you know, like, when you're doing chucks, it's just important just to do it every day for 5 minutes, even if it's just 5 minutes. And for me, it's the same thing. Like, no matter how you feel, I think whether it's good or bad, it's always good to have the discipline to keep pushing forwards the things that you know is good for your life, no matter what, right? It's always good to always have that in a habit. So regardless, I'm going to keep making these videos and keep doing it, just sometimes just tapering it down a little bit while I take care of things. Ernie says, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Absolutely. And here I was talking about going really fast. When you go, let's talk about going slow for a second, because obviously I didn't talk about that at all. But slowness is, especially if there's if there's something missing in your technique, or if there's a technique that's off, if you do it fast, that off just gets repeated a lot more, and it'll definitely cause issues. So there's whole nother training section where when I'm talking about being relaxed and snapping it, that's one thing. But if your technique has flaws in it, or if there's something off with that, it's also another thing. It's very good to go slowly and to super analyze every single little part of your technique and ask yourself, do I need this? Does this really need to be there? And if you say yes, then keep it. But if you can find little corners that maybe you're adding too much energy or too much technique, or it's rolling more than it needs to, make your adjustments, optimize it. It'll definitely make a big difference. Josh says, thank you. And you're most welcome. Yeah. Banderolero 6 says, what are fire nunchucks? Well, fire nunchucks are nunchucks that you light on fire. These are not chucks that I can recommend, obviously, because we're on YouTube and there's a lot of people that watch. Fire dancing is an art form. It's a circus arts. It allows me to perform. It allows me to become a full-time performer doing what I love to do. Fire dancing is a huge part of it. So it's a way that you can use nunchucks and turn it into a part-time job even. Becoming a performer is fantastic. So fire nunchucks is a part of that. It's part of the circus side of the martial arts side of nunchucks. So I love it. It's one of my most favorite things to do. I have some videos. If you just look up Ken Hill Fire, you'll find tons of fire videos on my YouTube channel. Santiago says, either I learn English or I go crazy watching your videos. Do they have like a way to translate? I'm not sure if they do. I don't think they do live for sure, but I thought like if you go to captions, like closed captions, it automatically translates it. Dustin says, I practiced for 2 hours yesterday with a new pair of weighted chucks. I've been sore as hell all day. Yep. Well, if it wasn't for the pandemic, I wouldn't have time to learn the chucks. So there's some cool things, or cool stuff during this time. Absolutely. Yes, that is true. That's true. There are definitely like, and me, I've been focusing a lot more on the YouTube channel too. Before the pandemic, I was so busy doing performances and working with circuses and trying to do my own stuff that I really lost touch with y'all. I didn't start doing these live streams, as a matter of fact, until COVID. So, I mean, there's definitely some good things that happen. Yeah. Let's see. History Pete's. Ha ha ha. Nice one, Dustin. JB. Hey, your videos help me a lot. Thank you for what you're doing. Oh, you're most welcome. I'm glad. And again, if you guys have any questions too, we'll start doing some live streams again. And for those of you that just joined, I wanted to tell you, tomorrow I'm going to do the first reveal of our monthly instructor. So every month we're going to have a new nunchuck instructor that I think is pretty awesome, and I just want to share them and have them help with flow tricks as well. I think it'd be pretty cool to get some new blood and new techniques involved. So I think it's going to be a good time. All right, we are going to go back to, let's go back. We're going to go back to the web here and take a look and see what other comments people have left. Rohut Putty says, where's the rotor pass throw, bro? Do a video on how to catch it with the other hand in midair. This is an old video. You know what I love about YouTube is the fact that when people are commenting, like, how old is this video? I just want to see. Gosh, how old was this? This was a long time ago. Just the fact that someone could watch this video and it's, I mean, look at my hair. 2015, this is 6 years ago. Just the fact that someone could write a response 13 hours ago to something I did 10 years ago, and it's crazy. But what he asked about was rotor passes, how to catch it with the other hand. So let's go ahead and go over that for a second. Catching a rotor pass with the other hand is not as bad as you think, actually. So here's the rotor pass. The rotor pass throw is when you turn your hand 180 degrees, lift it up, launch it like so, right? So here to here, lift and launch. Now the trick is, as the chuck is rolling in a circle, you are trying to catch it cross your arm. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your right hand, you're going to cross your other arm. So as we go here and we throw it up, if you can think cross arm, then you'll grab it in the right spot, which is going to be, you're going to grab it on the left side, not the right side. If you grab it on the right side here, you can still get away with it, but I find this to be easier. So what you're going to do is cross your hand and grab it from the other side. So here, throw it up in the air, and it's gonna just want to land there. Now here's the thing: if you just hold your hand still, it's just gonna fall. But because you caught it this way, you can flick your wrist forward to keep the motion going, and you don't lose control of it. This will allow you to do multiple rotor pass throws very easily. So here, rotate it 180 degrees, throw it up, cross your hand, grab it from the other side, flick it forward to keep the motion going, and you're good. Again, if you do it just right, it should be a very smooth motion. It shouldn't even look like you lost any momentum at all. All right. Next, disappointed life. Oh yeah, here we go. This is a good one. We're back to the 5 stylish ways. You remember I was telling you the 5 stylish ways to unsheath your sword is probably the most dramatic of all the videos. Got all the lawyers coming at me on the sword. I wonder if he's going to say something or what? We'll see. Imagine entering the battlefield, then you start flexing your muscle or your sword moves. Suddenly your opponent starts flexing his style too. Then everyone gathers to watch. Then Indiana Jones comes out of nowhere. Screw this, shoots you and the other guy. That's it. Okay, we all imagined it. Scary. It's scary day. I could imagine it too. I'm just getting ready to fight a guy with my sword, so I grab my sheath and I throw my sword in the air and I catch it behind my back because that's what I would do. And then Indiana Jones pops up. Definitely not in a movie here. No, this is definitely real. That was pretty funny. I like that one. That was a good comment. Let's see. On the 985 says sweet move, bro. For oh my god, another old video. Old videos, you guys. Wow. Let me tell you something. I've made so many videos and I don't always remember all the videos I made, but thank you on the 9s. Bentley's backward bushcraft what says that's pretty much how I do it. Chop, 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 then they fall. That sounds good to me. See, back to the sword video. I swear to God, like that video is just popular. Everyone be wanting to talk about it. How many views does that even have? I don't even know. Let's check it out. It's got to be popular because a lot of people comment on it. It's got 47,000 views. It's just about how to unsheath your sword. And it's just comments and comments and comments and comments. Some of it's pretty funny. Like I said, it's funny to check out. There's definitely some triggered people on there. Someone says, dude, use the modern day Michelangelo. Except I'm not green. Rainbow's End, you should sometimes turn your back to demonstrate. You know what? I guess I don't do that too often. I used to do slow-mos. I don't know. I don't know. Turning my back to demonstrate is something I haven't thought about. I just, here's my backside. Check it out. I don't know. All right, I gotta translate this one. Guys, aren't you like happy that we live in a world of Google Translate where we can talk, we don't even have to speak the same language and we can kind of understand each other? A lot of your fan, I really want to have a class with you as I do training with nunchucks since I was 12 years old, always alone. I don't even have a decent nunchuck. Mine, I didn't have a swivel. I don't get some of the moves. Man, I hear you. I hear you on that one. That's Alexandro Nunchaku Gilly. That's really awesome, though. I think that's really awesome that you've done nunchucks since you were 12, though. That's got to be exciting. Like, I mean, I started nunchucks when I was 14 to about 18 in martial arts, and then I stopped until I was 30. So, like, I took this huge break, and then I just got consumed, and I started just working the tech out. But that's fantastic. I will say this, though, and I've had people say like, oh man, I can't afford a nunchuck. I would, or they'll talk about like your chuck. Well, I did a video recently because they said that I couldn't do it with oak chucks. I think that the main thing is you will always find a way to spin if you want to. Like I've seen people spin magazines as nunchucks, which gave me an idea years ago to teach other people how to spin chucks with magazines, just because if you don't have it, you can still build your own, which is really cool. Just no matter what, you can find a way to make it. I do believe that. You don't need a swivel. You can use cheap rope. Like nunchucks can be pretty cheap to make. It just takes a little bit of time. And I do feel like those are going to be the people that are going to make it anyways. So never lose that fire. I think it's really important to keep that fire always, because that's it's not going to be me. It's not going to be a video. It's not going to be your friends. What's going to keep you driving forward late at night is going to be your own inner fire. So you got to keep it lit. Okay, with that said, I'm going to go back here and make sure I haven't missed any YouTube comments that are actually here, because I'm not sure if any of the people that left comments in the past are here. So I'm going to go read the live chat really quick here. All right, let's see. Yeah, thanks, bro. You taught me a lot. You're most welcome. Hey, it's Ike Flow. What's up? Alexander Gent. It's going to be hard for me to remember that. I'm so used to seeing Ike Flow. Alexander asked if there's any plans for the world tour. I'm still waiting, with the COVID thing. I just want to wait until things are calming down. But yes, there are still plans, although I'm thinking probably more 2022 than 2021, at least right now. Lux, what's up? Good to see you. That's awesome. Wow, okay. And then we have you two. I hope your channel is just killing it, Lux. Lux Luminous is this awesome flow wand, levy wand, sorry. Like I said, I'm losing my brain. Levy wand spinner and instructor, and she's killing it. Like, she's doing great videos. Her quality videos are much higher quality than mine too. I just kind of push them out, but she takes her time and she makes really good quality instruction videos for something called levy wand, which is like this illusionary wand that kind of hangs in the air because you have this invisible string and you can do all these cool tricks with it. And what's interesting is I've always wanted to learn levy wand. It's one of those things that's just slightly in the back of my mind. Every time I see one, I was like, dude, I actually worked on levy wand for about 3 days at a fire festival, and I really enjoyed it, but I've never taken it past there, and I think it would be really fun. I think there's a really cool martial arts avenue that could be taken with the levy wand, just saying. Okay, Santiago says, Ken, could you please send a greeting to my nunchuck instructor, Rodrigo Pizarro, from the YouTube channel Totoros Ninja, who will show him your videos, and he was fascinated with your technique. Sure. I mean, Santiago, are you asking if I just leave a comment on one of his videos? Yeah, please. Right now, like I said, if you could send me an email with the reminder and send me a link to the video, I'll be happy to look at one of his videos and say hi. I think that'd be awesome. Yeah, just go send me an email at kenhillfire, KenHillFire @gmail.com, and I'll get to it either later tonight or tomorrow morning. I'll send a hello to him. Zach asks what martial arts I know. I learned a hybrid of martial arts. There was a dojo that I went to. I mean, I think RBWI Ninjutsu was the big one that I learned. But I had 3 different instructors, but the big portion of my martial arts training, they had 18 different styles of martial arts. So basically what it was you take what works for you and you build your own style out of it. So I learned a lot of ninjutsu, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, kind of judo. Judo wasn't my thing. Kind of aikido. Aikido wasn't my thing. I think the ninjutsu and kickboxing was what I really liked, as well as Kali. Love Kali. That's a lot of my speed in nunchucks comes from Kali training. Dustin says, I started with a broom handle. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Same here, like I've spun so many broom handle staves, it's crazy. So you can totally get away with just regular house supplies. If you want to make it work, you will make it work. That's what I've learned. And those are the people that will make it happen regardless. So, when I was a musician and I was poor, I couldn't afford a mic stand, and so I used a toilet paper roll and a lot of duct tape, but it held that microphone well. I think that's always a good example. Like you make it work, right? There's no shame in that. Actually, I think you should brag about that. Like people that are born into money, that have all the fancy stuff, that have it all together, people that get nunchucks easily without working for it, they lose something really important. It's better to have to work for it, because there's this progression that happens inside that is invaluable. Like you can't replace that with anything. You could fly the helicopter to the top of the mountain, but you don't get the experience of climbing that mountain. And it's really important that we fail and that we push forward through it. It really is. It's important that we don't always have things handed to us. So yeah, it's not a crutch. It's actually a good development tool for life, I think. All right, I'm going to get back to the web. There we go. All right. Raksha Kumar Rai says, great, I'm from Nepal. Awesome. I love that. So many people from all around the world watching these nunchuck videos. I love that. Florets Tutorials, which is Anthony, says, dude, these moves are so clean. I have more work to do. Dude, don't we all? Don't we all have work to do? It's absolutely true. The further you go down that rabbit hole, the further that you see that it can go. It's endless. Like you can take this forever. Marcus says, hey Ken, where can I get the chucks you have there? Karate Mart, love your videos, thanks. Marcus, what you're probably talking about is the Dark Monk chucks. That's dark-monk, DARK-monk. You can type in Dark Monk Studio Nunchucks in Google and you should be able to find it as well. Dark Monk actually worked with me to create these nunchucks. So what I like about them is they're a little bit heavier. They're definitely heavier than foam chucks, but the weight is distributed at the end. They're almost similar to fire nunchucks in that way, but they're also padded. So there's a really nice balance. The rope is nice and thick. This thing's lasted years, so I love the Dark Monk nunchucks. I think they're fantastically crafted. But that's where I get them from. Okay, and then the next comment says, I am RODJE Raji. Hi Ken, any recommendation of shop? Where can we buy online for the best nunchucks that's durable? Well, so again, it really depends on what you're trying to do. I go with the Dark Monk chucks, but those are going to be more like, I want to say circus style, but those are easy to transition into the circus style of nunchucks where you can get into fire dancing or LED spinning. I feel like it's got a really good weight balance with that. But you can literally use any kind of chuck. You can go to Karate Mart or Century, and because there's also speed chucks. Like if you're trying to do it as a sport, that might be the one you want to use. Lee Barden used to have something called Pro Chucks, I think. Yeah, Pro Chucks. But there's all different kinds of chucks. And then there's contact chucks, which are like 14-inch to 16-inch nunchucks. Super long, but great for almost like staff-like moves. So there's all different kinds of chucks and made by different manufacturers. And I think the most important thing is to try out a bunch of different kinds and see what works best for you. There really is no magic bullet. I mean, like I said, I've got the Dark Monks made for my style because I felt like that was the good balance, but it really depends on what your style and what you want to do with it. All right. Ellie says, thank you. You're most welcome. Eric says, man, you are good. This helped me a lot. These are very cool tricks. Dude, that's awesome. Yeah. And I'm like responding back to these guys, and I'm not going to type to them. Hopefully they'll watch this video. Dutch Flying Chucks. Hey, Ken. How could you know that I started training stalls exactly yesterday? So I just released a stall video, by the way. Thanks for this instruction. I'd like to see the stall with the cemex, hopefully some more infinite cemex tricks. I hope the newest nunchucks from Dark Monks... I hope the newest chucks from Dark Monks come in this week. It's my personal reward after exactly 1 year of hard training. Man, you should know how much you inspired me. See you at the live stream. Thank you. That is awesome. You know what? I'm just going to heart all of these. And if I hearted you, that means I responded to you because I love it all. I'm okay. Man, we actually responded to quite a bit already, didn't we? Jeez. Well, so he wants to know about stalls that use cemex, and I think I know exactly which one he's talking about. What he's talking about is this one. It's going to be something like an up stall, but then we pull it back into a cemex like this. Oops. Let's try that again. Let me try the other chucks. That's still a brand new pair of chucks, and believe it or not, I do have to break them in. There we go. So this is an up stall with the cemex. So basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to upstall. You're trying to upstall and you're trying to keep it nice. You're almost trying to angle it a little bit diagonally. The reason why you angle it diagonally is because your pointer finger is going to grab here and it's going to pull backwards. Now what happens when you pull backwards is it's going to cause the chuck to cross into itself. So here, pull backwards. As you pull backwards, it's almost like a bow and arrow. It's pulling this backwards. It's making the chucks collapse inward and change directions. So upstall, upstall, pull. Upstall, pull. You're usually trying to get your finger to cross up towards the top because as you pull, this chuck is going to move towards your hand. So if you have a long string and you pull this way, it may just fold. It may fold too far away from your hand to grab it. So you're going to try to stick your pointer finger up a little bit more on the rope in order to get that catch. But that's how you stall into a cemex. All right. I'm going to go back here. Actually, I'm going to read a couple of the comments and then I'm going to go back here. Ninja Bacon, what's up? Ninja Bacon says he's excited for guest instructors, bro. Flow tricks for life. Absolutely. Heck yeah, man. I'm excited. Tomorrow I will announce our first monthly instructor for March. I've already got March and April done. I'm going to try to get this whole year queued up so everyone knows the instructors that are about to come in. Ninja Bacon says dark nunchucks are amazing. Oh, and my son's on here too. Seth says, yo, what's up? What's up? Just doing the live streams. You know how I am. Getting it done. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and get back to these comments. Again, since we're doing this live stream, just keep in mind that if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer it. As you can tell, I have also a Patreon account or a place where you can drop a tip if you like what you see or if you want to support Flowtricks. With the monthly instructors, we're always going to have them do at least one Zoom class on the ProTricks page. ProTricks page is where we have a little group Zoom class where I get all my students that are in the ProTricks group and we all just do a Zoom and I teach them stuff. We do that every Sunday. But with this monthly instructor, he's going to take over one of the weeks and he's going to teach too. So that way we're going to get this really cool variety in there as well. The instructor that we're talking about, the guest instructor, is also going to release some videos teaching some of their favorite things about their style. So we see a really awesome instructor. They're going to teach some of their cool tricks on how they do it. I'm pretty excited to see where this goes. All right, I'm going to go back to the comments. Let's see what else. Let's see if there's any questions. NK Legendary, thank you so much, sir, for your videos. I'm learning nunchuck tricks very easily, more tricks in less time. Yes, that's the beauty about having an instructor, at least. So, and this is something I want to talk about too. There's always this fine line. Like for me, I didn't really have anyone to teach me, which is really interesting because I wouldn't be able to learn from the way that I teach usually. Because the way I learn is I lock myself up in a room and I try to figure out all the moves I possibly can until I get stuck. Then I'll go out and I'll learn one little thing that from an instructor, maybe an idea to help plant the idea for me to make more connections. And then I'll go back in my room. And I'm almost like a mad scientist, just kind of making a bunch of experiments. So I'm glad that other people are able to benefit from it. But there's a balance, I think, to learning the stuff that I teach while also being your own kind of spinner. And I think it's really important to break away from the things I teach. Matter of fact, this is one of the reasons why I think a monthly instructor is going to be so exciting. Because I think the idea is that I want Flowtricks to be a launch pad where you create your own style out of it. I mean, I am really proud and happy anytime people can nail these moves, but it is pretty awesome too to see people develop and advance the moves that I've been working on, because there's plenty of people out there that are actually taking some of the tricks that I've shown them and they take it further than I could even do it. And I think that's pretty fantastic, to be honest. I think that's pretty fun. I don't want to be the guy that is able to do it all the time just because I do so much already. So I hope some of you guys do take it and run with it and then share it back with the Flowtricks group. I think that's awesome. Okay, let's go back to the web. Okay, let's see here. Wild stuff. Over the 360 looks fantastic. Thank you for sharing your art. You're most welcome, Dustin. I wish I knew what the over 360 looks like. But even from the look of where this video was, this was one of the first videos that I made. So we're talking 10 years ago. I don't remember what the over 360 looks like, unfortunately. I'm going to guess it's a 360 behind the back rail, though. And he says, thanks, man. You're most welcome. We'll heart that. Like ghost pepper spicy. Oh yeah, spicing up your figure eights. That was a good video too. Look at this. I'm like showing you guys all these old videos. It's kind of crazy to think about, but you could go back. There's 10 years of videos to go through with these nunchuck things. So like sometimes when I look at these comments, it just reminds me of a time period in my life because this was 10 years of making videos. The weirdest thing about YouTube is most of these videos that people are commenting on are either brand new or are like 8 to 10 years old. Those are the two most common comments. Like spice up your figure eight was probably like 5 years ago. The one below it is definitely 10 years old. Cool moves. Thanks, man. Jimmy says, thank you for your best tutorial, sir. I recently learned the front to front grip. Congratulations, Jimmy. That's awesome. Front to front, you should always, like that is the big congratulation for sure because that one's pretty hard. That's a pretty hard one. I should say the figure eight wrist roll is like the bread and butter for nunchucks, but the front to front is just like a challenging grip. So congrats. Rick said, I made a pair from an old broom handle. Another broom handle person. This is awesome. I drilled holes and connected the cord and I fixed them a different way than normal. They were easy to make and fun. I wanted a light pair from wood that would not wear out my arm quickly. Heck yeah, Rick. That's awesome. I like to hear that. This is stuff I like to hear. Benito says, I lost it when he started spinning bananas. I probably did. Oh, I think I did. I think I had an injury. That was when I dislocated my shoulder. That was a whole nother chapter too. Basically, I dislocated my shoulder, but I didn't go to the doctor, and so it froze. And when you have a frozen shoulder, it's basically like having to teach your arm to lift again. So for 2 months, I couldn't lift my arm above my belly button. It was crazy. I had to actually, like, every day I had to practice lifting my arm until I could finally get it to, I mean, it was a big day when I could finally reach my steering wheel. I remember I was driving with one hand for quite a while. Yeah, so there's a lesson to be learned. If you dislocate your shoulder, definitely, like, don't, like, baby it and not move it for a week or it'll get stuck. Okay, I see. I'm going to go back here. I'll get back to the comments soon, but I'm going to go back to the... Oops. I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to read off some of the comments from the live stream. Let's see here. Ernie says, I learn best from teaching. No, that totally makes sense. There's a lot of shortcuts you can take from teachers too. Matter of fact, I think it's the shortcuts that make teachers so good. Like a good instructor will make moves seem easy because they know they can see what needs to be done. Most of the time y'all are doing the moves almost perfect. I would say like most of the time you guys probably are like 80 to 90% on target when you're trying to get a move, but you can't. It's just all it takes is 10% for it to not work. So it's like a good instructor can see that little tweak. Dustin says, can you show us how to pass the chucks around the neck? Sure. So there's multiple neck passes that we can talk about. I'll go with the basic one and then I'll do a one-handed version. So with the behind the neck pass like this, the easiest way to think about a behind the neck pass is straight line, follow through. So most of the time when people do neck passes, they make a couple mistakes. The first, get your chuck over by your shoulder before you do the pass. If you have it by your hip and you swing for a neck pass, as you swing up here, it goes down here. So as the chuck swings up, it's going to go downward. So if you have it here and you swing across, as it goes sideways, it's going to continue to go sideways. That makes sense, right? If I go down, it's going to come up. It's going to come up behind me, and if I go up, it's going to come down behind me. So as you think of the angle, you first want to square it away by this. So a lot of times you do an over-the-shoulder pass, but then you let go with your hand. This sets you up, right? The second one is you're going to swing directly horizontally across until you're almost choking yourself, like you're putting yourself into a chokehold, and your hand is going to try to almost flick with that horizontal motion all the way across, right? Now this is going to hit yourself in the face, so we have to create a protection as well. So here, what you're going to do is you're going to check your face now. Basically, you put your hand by your cheek like this, and then you're going to do the same swing, but this time instead of going slowly, you're just going to follow through with it. What's going to happen is the chuck is going to go all the way around and it's just going to land nice and conveniently by your neck. From here, you grab, swing it out, whoosh. So, boom, like that. Or you don't even have to swing it to the side, it's whatever you want to do, you know. Just remember, keep it up high, swing it across, follow through, flick it back, boom. Now the other one, well, the one that I love, recently I've been really enjoying the one-handed neck pass, so I think I'd show you that one. This takes you into a back grip. What you do from here is you kind of get a low grip. You do a low front grip. I usually almost grab the bottom, but not quite. I'm kind of somewhere in between the middle and the end. And what you're going to do is this very similar. You're going to do this neck pass, but since you're grabbing lower, what's going to happen is there's going to be a lot more nunchuck coming forward. So when you let go, it's going to want to roll itself off. This is what you want. If I grabbed it high and did it, it just kind of gets stuck at the neck level because that's the length of the chuck. But as you go lower, the chuck is going to wrap around more, and that's what we want. Basically, what we want is the chuck to fall if we weren't to catch it. That's how you know, because then it's going to wrap around all the way right back to our hand. And that's what we're looking for. So you're going to swing it around. You're going to be nice and smooth about it, not too hard. And what you're going to do is you're going to wait for the chuck to rotate back until it reaches your open hand, and then you're going to close it. This puts you in a back grip where you can kind of swing it downwards. So one more time. Whoosh. Oops. I went too fast on that one. So here, roll it around and grab. Boom. We're in a back grip from here. And then if you want to go into front grip, slap. You just slap it out of the way. Here. I personally enjoy the one-handed a little bit more, but that's just because I've done the two-handed for so long. One-handed is kind of there's something cool about it. It's kind of like doing the infinite behind the back rolls or the front to front rolls. There's just something really cool about doing it over and over again. And with that neck one, you can just keep doing it. It's pretty fun. Zach said, would you recommend karate or taekwondo? Yes. How's that for an answer? Dude, I recommend all martial arts. If you're talking about for your nunchucks, taekwondo has extremely dynamic kicks. Karate has very powerful deep stances. Both of them work great. If you're talking about my style, taekwondo would probably work a little bit better just because it's more, I don't want to say flowery, but it's got more, like the kicks and stuff are a lot more just dynamic. Whereas if you're talking karate, it's grounded and more powerful. It's very powerful. It's very rock solid. So you can come up with, both of them work. It'll just kind of change the nunchuck style that you're looking for. I tend to think taekwondo, though, has more of a dynamic style about it. Or XMA for that matter. There's a lot of them. I think the only martial arts that really doesn't complement nunchucks too well, I think it'd be hard to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with nunchucks. I don't think that there's a lot of aesthetics that could come with that because that's basically the guard. It's ultimate fighting, UFC type stuff. Unless you plan on putting someone in the guard, but then it's probably not going to, there's probably not a lot of tricks you can do with that. Probably be a good fighter with it though. Ike Flow says, are your guest instructors teaching different props or just chucks? We're starting with just chucks. What do y'all think? Should I do other props? The thing is I originally changed nunchaku tricks to flow tricks because I wanted to teach more props. But I think that most people are still pretty much doing the nunchuck thing. I think staff might be something to look at. But overall, I don't think that we've crossed over enough that there'd be enough interest if I started showing but you tell me, because I know some people that are interested. I know some poi spinners that are interested in teaching, staff, hoops. There's all kinds. Rope dart. Maybe we can get Frank Hatzis involved. There's all kinds of really cool stuff. I just have to see if there's a need for it. If there's enough people interested. That's the big question. Bandolero says, when are the classes? If we're talking about the Zoom classes on Patreon, I'm assuming. Patreon, I have private lessons too. I only have 2 students right now, so I have some time, but I have private lessons as well as group lessons. And group lessons are almost always at 2 p.m. on Sundays. So tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time is going to be the next one. But it's every Sunday we get together and I see where they are and I just kind of feed them some stuff or we jam out. Sometimes we even watch. A couple weeks ago, we just sat around watching nunchuck videos and talking about how cool it was. It was pretty fun. Ninja Bacon said, I'm glad I joined the live stream. I learned something new each Zoom session. But that cemex from Upstall just blew my mind. Thank you, man. I'm surprised I'm able to teach you stuff still. You're killing it, man. Celestia says, hello, how are you? I'm doing good. Just wanted to reach out to you all. I'm really surprised, actually. This is Saturday. I figured everyone would be out doing stuff, but, it's understandable, too. Pandemic, but still, it's really good to see you all, or to talk to you all, that's for sure. Captain Clawhammer, First time seeing this in a live stream. Awesome. Good. Yeah. If you have any questions, feel free to holler. This is the perfect time to ask whatever questions you want. I was generally going for the YouTube comments just so I could catch up, but let me know if you have any questions. Dustin says, yeah, there's one I want to learn. Thanks, Ken. I'll shut now. You'll shut now? What? Let me think. What was it? Oh, sorry. Good. Yeah, I'm glad that was helpful. Yeah, you were the one that asked about the behind the neck pass. I'm sorry. Yeah, let me know. I mean, if you have any more questions too, feel free to holler. Bro, Ken and Frank in the same Zoom class. I know, wouldn't that be sweet? Me and Frank have had talks ever since we met like 6 years ago. We've always talked about banding together for something. I think someday it's going to happen. We just have to figure out how to make it happen. Absolutely. Ike Flo said staff and poi would be cool. I agree. I think staff is very close to nunchucks. Of all the props, I think staff is close to single nunchucks and poi is close to double nunchucks. So having those kinds of instructions would be pretty cool. Again, it just depends on what people are ready for, though, because I still think that nunchucks is definitely the big one here. All right, so I'm going to go back to, and he also says, good to see the unexpected live stream, by the way. Glad I caught it. Thanks. No, I'm glad you could join, too. I've been doing these impromptu lately just because, like I said, I haven't been feeling the greatest, so I've been laying low, and I was like, you know what? I feel good enough. Let's do this. I'm going to stop trying to baby this thing. I'm just going to plow through it. Let's go ahead and take a look at more of these comments, too, and see if there's anything else I can answer here. Dennis says I got to get ice attacks. Someone teach me that. I want to learn how to do that. Yeah, dude, Dante's a boss with them. He's talking about the Cerberus chucks, by the way, the triple-headed nunchucks. I'm sure you guys have seen those. Yeah, so with the Cerberus chucks, Dark Monk sent me those to experiment, to play with it, and I ended up really liking it. Like, it's really fun. It's pretty crazy. Like, having three nunchucks is really difficult. Having that extra chuck is really easy to hit yourself with because there's always something in the way. So you kind of have to move your arms out of the way when you're doing these moves. But there is definitely something sweet about having, I don't know. It's very unique. It's a very original prop. I hope more people buy them or make them because I would love to see what people could come up with Cerberus chucks. Since it's so brand new, we're actually making up our own terminology. There's just a couple of us trying to invent new moves with it. But if you're interested, let me know. Maybe we'll even make a special Cerberus Facebook page just for people exploring and trying to figure out how to use that thing. Yep, Devil May Cry chucks. That's it. Ninja Bacon says, much appreciation for the Cerberus vids. Makes me want them so bad just to play around with. Absolutely, man. And like I said, even if you build them yourself, just getting a pair in your hands, I think, is a really fun exploration. It's definitely harder than nunchucks. Like, having that extra nunchuck in the way makes it harder. It almost feels limiting at first. But then once you start understanding how it moves, you realize it's just a totally different beast. That's really all it is. Okay, we're going to go back here. Continue on with this. Also, you guys, I don't know if it's possible, but I was thinking about having a Zoom class soon, like a YouTube Zoom class. So not even a class, maybe just a jam out where I'll just come on YouTube and I'll just leave it open for you guys to jump on in and we can talk or play music or I don't know what we'll do yet. I've been really wanting to do more interactive stuff where you guys are doing more than just typing, though. I think that would be really fun. We just have to figure out how to make it work and how to keep the Zoom bombers out. All right, I'm going to go back here. Let's keep going. All right. Now, I'm going to butcher names, and I apologize. I'll do my best to pronounce it, though. Wakwas Anas says, thank you, Ken. You teach it so well. And I almost got it in 20 minutes. Heck yeah. Figure 8 wrist rolls in 20 minutes is a big deal. I had a student that took about 3 months before he was able to get it. And it doesn't matter how long it takes, to be honest. It really doesn't matter how long it takes to get that wrist roll. All that matters is you're able to do it. But it's still getting it in 20 minutes. That's a good deal, man. Good job. All right. Let's see. Eduardo says okay. Archie says thanks. Caesar says, I agree. Cerberus needs swivels or ball bearings. Keep it up, Ken. We're waiting for the fancy stuff with Cerberus. No pressure. Oh man. Yeah. You know, it's going to take some time for sure. Everything takes time. The whole thing about with learning a new prop, and this might help you out. When you want to learn a new prop, right? Say you know nunchucks really well, but you want to learn how to spin a sword or you want to learn how to spin a staff. The first thing I would highly recommend that you do is figure out what moves transfer over from the chucks into the sword or the staff, right? What are the direct moves? And you're going to notice there's going to be some differences because there's weight. It doesn't have a string, so it's going to act differently. So then the second question to ask is what characteristics about this new prop make it unique, right? When you understand both of those questions, what makes it unique and what can I transition over into it, then you have your own foundation for learning a new prop. From there, that's where you build things. So I assume that like even with nunchucks, the fanciest moves are just simple moves combined. So keep that in mind. So when you learn a new prop, I think it's really important to understand the foundations of the prop first before anything else. Definitely do all your fancy moves to see if it can be done. But in the end, to really get the grasp and the foundation is to go for the foundations of how the characteristics of whatever prop you're spinning and the moves you can do with it. And that is like where you build your little castle of moves and tricks. And the further you go, the higher you can go with it. So definitely a good thing. Definitely a good thing to get through. Okay, I'm going to go back here. I learned the 3-beat weave from your tutorial and I mastered it. Heck yeah, dude. Good job. Mastery is a big word. But then again, I have some people that are like, teach me master. I'm like, master? No. I am definitely no master. But I guess from the same token, it could just be a semantics. I don't think I'll ever consider myself a master. I will always consider myself a student of the art because I see how far it goes. I feel like the more you learn, the more you realize just how far you have to go. Bandolero 6, keep it up. Awesome. Hey, heck yeah. Craig Harris, man, I cannot figure out the lower back quadrant. I can't figure the transitions from forwards to backwards, and I don't know what my wrist is meant to be doing the move around 55 to 6. Hey, Craig, if you'd like, send an email with your attempt. TMPT, kenhillfire@gmail.com. That goes for all of you guys, of course. kenhillfire@gmail.com, especially when I'm doing a live stream. I'll go through my emails and I'll take a look and see what videos you guys have sent me or questions, and I'll try to answer it from there. But he's trying to figure out the lower back quadrant. I know what he's talking about. Let's go ahead and cover this a little bit. It's obvious. It should be pretty obvious that any move that you do that you have never done before is going to take extra special care. So when we're talking about, when I released the quadrant series a long time ago, before I even understood poi or anything like that. But the quadrant is basically being able to spin a chuck around the most popular 4 points for the nunchucks. The most popular 4 points of chucks: shoulder, shoulder, hip, hip. It actually goes further because armpits are also a big one, but we don't really go into that too much. So your ability to do a figure eight in front of you is one thing. Your ability to do a figure eight in the quadrants is a completely different story. As you can see, my hand has to do different things to accomplish a figure eight depending on where it is, which quadrants it's at. But what he was talking about was behind the back quadrants, which are even different. And that's going to be my hand is behind my back and I'm doing a figure eight from over here. And that's a tough one. Jeez. I haven't done that in a minute. Let's see if I can do it better. I bet I'm better with my left, yeah. So the ability to do a figure eight behind your back, across, and over there. Why would you do that? Because there's moves, like if I have double nunchucks, I can kind of pull it through there. What you'd see right there is a figure eight that happens that's spinning through those two quadrants down below. You don't see it too often, and people usually don't hold it there. People usually don't go, hey, what's up? Check out my nunchuck skills. But what you can see is that there's definitely some use, and it looks like my left hand is definitely better than my right with this. But anything around the hips, especially when you're going behind, is controlled by the hip. This hip motion is very important because you don't have, when your chucks are in front of you, you have your wrists, you have your fingers, you have your elbows. When the chuck is behind you, you don't have that much because everything's locked up trying to reach all the way over here. So what you have is your hips to move it. So the more wrapped up you are, the more you have to use other parts of your body to move. So this bouncing motion is actually very important. This motion here is very important for me to be able to do. And all I'm doing is just almost like I'm doing trunk twists. It's going to be as you come up and it's coming, as you swing it down, you're going to go as low as you can, which is going to cause it to come up high. The moment it comes up high, you're going to turn to the left with it. So turn to the left. And then as it comes up this way, you're going to turn to the right, and that's going to cause it to swing the other way. So left, right. You can do this. You can practice this without, let me turn this down. You can practice this motion without even having to let go of it. Just put it behind your back, grab the other chuck, and think, okay, as this comes up, I'm just imagining as this comes up, I'm going to turn to the left. And then as it goes past the bottom part, I'm going to turn to the right. And this is how it's going to spin behind me. So left, right. And then eventually, you should just be able to kind of feel that hip rotation that needs to happen. The cool thing is this happens simultaneously with this one. See, as you can see, my hip is turning this way, and that's what causes us to be able to do it with both sides. Because the hip, as this is turning forward and this is turning backwards, we can create a rhythm by being in the opposite side, here and here. And that's what allows us to be able to control both sides. So if your hip is in control, all you have to do is think about this, and your hands are locked. You just have to be in the opposite side. So as one hip's back, it's doing its motion, and when one hip's forward, it's doing the other motion. I'm pretty sure that's what he was talking about, because when he's talking about behind the back quadrants, I haven't really covered too many other quadrants outside of that one. All right. And with that said, I'm going to pause that, and I'm going to take a look and see if there's any more comments on the live stream here. Ninja Bacon says, much appreciation on the Cerberus vids. Oh wait, I already said that one. Ninja Bacon said he'd join. That's awesome. Yeah, here's the thing, y'all. I want to do so many things, and that's my biggest problem. I have a laundry list of things I want to do. So I do want to make that Cerberus video, or Cerberus groups. I think it might be better if someone started it. Like if I could find someone to admin it, and then I could join and maybe be an administrator on it as well, but I don't really want to. It's really hard for me to pick up new stuff because I just do a lot. I'm a circus performer. I work with 2 different circuses. I've got my YouTube channel. I'm a dad. There's just a lot of juggling. So I think I definitely want to do something with that, though. I think that'd be really cool. I'm having a problem. I'm having a challenge maintaining all the things that I love doing just because I do so much. I think it's great. Ike Flo says a jam sounds cool. And he says having Frank on the world tour would be a great idea too. Absolutely. Got to figure out if Frank wants to do that though. But that would be really sick. I can't drink my drink. All right. Alexandro Nunchucku. I'm going to go ahead and translate this so I can see. How do I take a class with you is what he says. It's on my Patreon. Patreon.com/Flowtricks, which is right down here. If you go to patreon.com/Flowtricks, you will actually see lots of places where you can do either private lessons or join our group lessons. The group lessons is a lot cheaper because I just see where everyone's at. Usually we only have like 2 to 3 people in the group classes too, in the ProTricks group. So it's a great way to get like personal attention because our group's not even that big. But when it does get big, I also have private lessons. Now, private lessons are a little bit more pricey, of course, but there's also the added bonus of that I record all the Zoom classes and I'll send it back to you. And I also take notes. So as I'm watching you for the hour that we're working together, I'll take notes over everything we covered and what your homework is. So my goal with those classes, one-on-one classes, my goal is to give you as much homework as you can handle. So we're gonna work together, and I'm gonna bombard you with stuff which you probably won't be able to do during the class, but I'll give you plenty to work with. So after we leave, you'll have at least a week or 2. Usually, like most people that are doing my my private lessons are only doing it once a month or once every other week. So usually I try to just pile on the homework as long as that's what they want. I feel like that's a good use of time too. Yeah. Ernie says, I'm out. Keep doing what you do. I'll keep watching. Take care. You too, Ernie. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Really appreciate that. Alexandros, I'm going to go ahead and try to... He says, I am very much your fan. I am from Brazil. Never had an instructor. All I learned was watching movies alone. That's awesome. There is nothing wrong with that. I think that's fantastic. You're very talented. I want to reach your level. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You will reach this level. Absolutely. If you are committed to it, you can reach the level that I'm at. Again, I do too much, y'all. Even when it comes to spinning props, I do 10 different props. Nunchucks is just one of the things I do. So it's like I don't dedicate enough time. You guys can definitely get to my level and beyond. You definitely can. I don't think that I'm one of the best nunchuck spinners out there. I'm good though. Like I'm good. I definitely think I'm good. I'm good enough. But I just don't practice enough. So I know that people can go beyond where I'm at. And that's exciting for me. Especially because I'm in my 40s. So my goal is to pass the torch and to give you guys tools so you guys can take it to the next level and hopefully maybe throw a little credit and say, hey, Ken Hill taught me this, or something like that. I think that'd be awesome, Or maybe we could work together in the future. Like I said, I'm getting guest instructors. I want FlowTricks to grow. So like as you guys get better, I think it'd be pretty awesome that we could work together and continue this. Because as I start picking up more and more things that I want to do, I think I want to start having other instructors and other people start taking over FlowTricks a little bit more, as well as my home-based circus company as well. Like I'm trying to delegate a little bit more so I can have some sort of a social life. Something. I have nothing right now. I have my art and I love it, but man, I'm just anyways, I am going to go back to the web. Let's see here. See what else we got. Rasilo says, please give me the yellow nunchaku. So this yellow nunchuck that he's talking about was given to me as a gift. It was made to me from a friend that I definitely need to say hi to him again. I don't have the chuck on me right now, but the yellow nunchuck is pretty sweet. I like it. My martial art academy says, very good, sir. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. Us. Respect and love from Pakistan. Heck yeah. That's awesome. Dragon Power says, Ken is highly skilled in his craft. He can break down techniques so anyone can learn nunchucks. Great instructor. Thank you. Thank you. You guys should... Some of you guys have been around since the beginning, but my first videos were horrible with instruction. Like I didn't know how to break down anything. So I'm really happy that I've learned how to break down moves so you guys can learn it. Hey, it's Alexander Ikeflow. Nice. Look. Oh wait. Let's go here. Nice. Looks great. Hope we can get him in the UK. Perhaps you can include teaching where you can get around to doing your world tour. Yes. We're talking about Cerberus, by the way. Yes. World tour is going to happen, y'all. Like, I know it for a fact, and my son is psyched up because I'm going to bring him with me. But we just, this COVID thing, I just want to make sure, so we don't get all these places booked and then have it closed down or anything like that. I just want to make sure everything's cool first. Patrice Frank says, Pioneer, thank you. Adrian says, thank you. All these years and you're still blowing my mind. Robert says, I've never seen these before. Weird but cool. Yes, they are weird but cool. We're talking about Cerberus again, everyone. This is a lot of comments on the Cerberus chucks. James says, you do some amazing things I've tried to copy, but I'll sit this one out. All good, man, all good. Atomica says, this would be so cool if you could make this work. I'd make my own just to follow your tutorials. Dude, get it. You should. I think you should make your own Cerberus chucks regardless, just because it's something new to try. Ashton says, best of luck when we're talking about the makeover. And then once in a while I get messages like this where it says, hi, can you teach me? It's really hard though, because it's like, I'm not sure what he wants to know, but I can say if you want me to teach you, just go to my Patreon and I can do group lessons and private lessons. Otherwise, I've got a lot of videos you could watch, and we do these live streams where you can ask me questions. So I feel like there's a lot of ways that you can be taught. Just got to go there, man. Ibad Kiani says, best of luck. We're talking about the makeover. Okay, I'm going to just do a few more. I think I've gotten this far before, so... But let's go with Mike. Mike, I'm a 61-year-old man. Started nunchucks again for fun and exercises. I watch your videos all the time. You're awesome. Trying to catch up to you. Thanks. Maybe someday I'll send a video. This is awesome. I'm going to say please do. I'm going to heart that. 61 years old, starting nunchucks for fun and exercises. He watches the videos. What a cool dude. That makes me happy. Where was it? Like 10 years ago, I said I wanted to make 1 million ninjas. We're almost to 7 million views. I wonder if that wonder if that means I made 1,000,000 ninjas, or if that's 100,000 people or 2,000 people. I don't know. But I do know what we're at. How many subscribers do we have? I'm going off of subscribers, so I'm thinking if I get 1,000,000 subscribers, I've got 1,000,000 ninjas. But that may not be accurate. I mean, there might be people that are just watching the videos here and there that I helped make a ninja, but they just didn't subscribe. So, but regardless, we're at 7 million views, so that's pretty kick-ass. Access Idol, Midwest Magician, me. Oh, we're back to the sword one. Me, 11 years. My katana, paper, robber, dead. Cause of death, laughter. Right. Well, that's good. I mean, it's good you have a sense of humor about it. That's funny. Josh says, great video, cheers. And this was an old video again. This is about how to hold the chucks. I've thought about redoing the whole series. Well, I've got to create the DVD, but I feel like the old videos definitely did not get to the point fast enough. That still may be the case, though. So I don't know if I've ever learned that art. Papa QTV, I learned many tricks from you, boss. Now I need fire nunchucks or nunchucks with light. Can you please give me one? I'm from the Philippines. Dude, you're awesome. I would love to give everyone a nunchuck, to be honest. I think it'd be cool if we just were given nunchucks. Like, let's make that a thing. Like, once you hit 5 years old, every parent should give their kid a pair of nunchucks. Toy chucks, but, you know. But giving someone fire chucks or nunchucks with lights is just, it can get a little costly if I started doing that. I could make so one thing I would do, though, I don't think I could ever give away a chuck per se unless there's some special meaning behind it. But one thing I could do is make contests. I feel like that would have something. Like, create something to where you have to work for it. And then, you know, I think contests are really fun in that way where everyone works for it. As long as people don't take it too personally. Sometimes people can get a little bit too competitive and it kind of ruins the vibe, but that's usually not the case. All right. Alif Seraph says, damn, that's some serious moves. I definitely can't do moves anywhere near that fast since I got steel nunchucks, no oak or plastic ones here to train with. Steel nunchucks is serious business. Way to go, man. Yeah. I have some steel ones. Actually, I have ones that are heavier than steel and they're rubber. Those things are heavy, man. Ugh. Papa QTV, I learned many tricks from you, boss. Now I need fire. Wait, he mentioned that on the other one. Oh, wait, he left another message. I learned many tricks from you, boss. I need fire nunchucks or chucks with light. Papa Q, you're back, Idol. Please give me one of your nunchucks with light. He's persistent. He wants my nunchucks. That's for sure. Igu Hatela says, I don't have any foam nunchucks. I have steel. Uh-oh. Can't do them then. Yep. You're stuck. Kidding. I mean, again, just because you see me use foam nunchucks doesn't mean I haven't used other chucks. It's really important when you see someone on the internet that you can't assume that because I have something different, this guy can't do it. You know, I see that a lot too with martial arts demonstrations and whatnot. People are like, oh, I can whoop this guy's ass. But it's like, you just see this demonstration. You don't actually know how rounded this guy is. He's just demonstrating this very specific thing. He could have a lot more up his sleeve. So it's kind of hard to like make those assumptions. All right, I'm going to go back to, oh, my bad, y'all. I didn't go to the web. So you've been watching me like read these things the whole time. That's hilarious. Oops. I'm going to go back to responding back to everyone here. Let's see. Sorry. Ninja Bacon, what kind of move would you label that upstall cemex? What would you call that? Well, I mean, I would just call it an upstall cemex. I don't have a big name for it. I mean, maybe an upstall cemex float because it's kind of floating sideways. A float is whenever the chuck drags across a lengthy portion, like a line almost. Or you could say an upstall. It's not really an isolation, but you might be able to get away with an upstall cemex line isolation. You could probably just say an upstall cemex because there's very few cemexes that you can do from an upstall too. History Pete's, I became a ninja, so that's one. Pow! That's right. Ninja Bacon, Moonwave stall? Ha ha ha. Yeah, sure. I mean, a moonwave stall is basically, oh, you're talking about that one. A moonwave stall might be a little bit different though, because a moonwave stall, like we're basically trying to get the moonwave. The problem is when it returns, it wants to hit back to where it came from. But I think we're just trying to get the moonwave to like stall, to side stall. Problem is when you get the stall, it resets where the chucks are. So even as you stall it from a diagonal point where they would miss each other, the moment it stalls too long, it'll reset and then they'll crash into each other. I think that's the problem I'm having right now with this technique. Yeah, it's going to want to keep clashing. You might be able to get away with it once, or you can even do like a cemex, like bounces to keep them in the same pattern, like that. But if you do the essential stall, the moment it stalls one time, it corrects itself in its position, causing it to crash into each other. I'm not saying it's impossible. There's just going to have to be some modification of the technique for that to work well. Captain Clawhammer, Zoom Ninjas. Yes, I like that one too. I'm going to punch the screen. Captain Clawhammer says, I have a set of telescoping metal chucks, a bit small to grip, and much heavier than any wooden ones I've ever tried, but fun. I've actually seen those before. I had one when I was like 16, long time ago. I haven't used those things in ages. I remember them being really hard to use, but I mean, I was a teenager back in those days too. I'd be curious to try them out again. I think it'd be kind of fun to try out new kinds of chucks again, or try out all the old school chucks that I did years ago and see how they hold up. IKeyFlow says, why don't you ask people to submit videos, you review them, and put a voting post on the community page to let the view votes decide which they like best. I like those things, and I see a lot of people doing that. The biggest problem that I have with a lot of it is there's a big problem that I see with a lot of these videos where it's like we put up the video, whoever gets the most likes, wins the prize. But the problem is it can be a popularity contest as opposed to like it is a hard balance though. It really is a hard balance because let's say someone else was doing it and I joined in and I was like, hey, here's my video, and then I told everyone on my YouTube channel to like my post. I'm probably going to win regardless, just because I have a lot of backing. And so that's something to think about, which is people that have a lot of friends sometimes will be the winners as opposed to, so it could be more about like the pool that you have in your community rather than like the actual quality of the video, because friends want to support friends, and I think that's fantastic, but it also makes things a little trickier. I think it's better to have a team of people, of judges, right? Judges are biased, but at least their job is going to be like, it'll filter out any favoritisms that could happen strictly out of popularity. There's no perfect system for judging or having a competition. And so I think people should always go into all competitions, including martial arts competitions, any kind of competitions. You should always go into those lightly because you never know how people are biased. And it can always affect things. I'm not saying it always will. And there's a lot of times the best spinner will get picked, but there's still the influence of people's biases. No perfect system, but if I did do it, I would rather have a panel of judges over people liking it or voting for it. All right. History Pete said that's a solid punch. I know, right? I'm sitting from a chair. You just felt that power, didn't you? Just kidding. All right. I'm gonna try to translate this. I don't know what this says. Translate. Give me a second. He said, oh, I like your videos a lot. No, thank you. I appreciate that. Captain Clawhammer retracted a message. I don't know what he said. Nobody knows. History Pete says, just so you know, Ken, Mike is periodically cutting out, maybe giving the cable a little wiggle. Okay. So I've had this problem. My computer broke a couple days ago and I just fixed it, but I am having a little bit of issues. Like my camera, for instance, my main camera right now isn't working. I should be able to stand up and walk back like you always see me walk back, but right now my camera's funky. So thank you for letting me know that. I may have to wait until I reboot the computer in order to get things going again, but thank you. I'll look in and see what's going on. Let me see. I think what I'll do is I'll plug it into a different port next time. So basically my power went out when I had to replace my computer's power supply. I had to learn all that stuff. It's really fun. but I put things back in a different order, so there might be some small issues where I have to still keep fixing it. Okay, R2 channel, where can I find a good pair of LED chucks or ones like you're holding? All I can find are the regular Amazon padded chucks. So my nunchucks, hold on one second, y'all. I'm gonna try to fix this. I'm gonna try to fix this right now. Give me a sec. Just a second here. I don't know if you can hear me. Where is... There. Tell me if you can you guys hear me? I basically plugged it into a higher speed port, the audio. Let me know if you can hear me. Otherwise, whoops. Just let me know if you can hear this audio so I don't start talking and there's just a bunch of emptiness. I'm sure you guys will mention it if you can. So you guys will mention it if you can't hear if you see my lips move, but you can't hear anything. So, perfect. Good. So R2 channel says, where can you find a good pair of LED chucks like the ones that I'm holding? For LED chucks, I mean, Flow Toys is fantastic. It depends on where you want to go. So this, by the way, this audio, I just plugged it into a different USB port, which is higher speed. So I was in a hub before, so it may have been it may have been sharing its resources too much. Not to get too nerdy on y'all, but that's probably what happened. So I think we're solid. Oh yeah, Flow Toys makes some awesome LED chucks. Give me just a second here. Let me just grab this Yeti microphone. There we go. Okay, head up. So if you go to Flow Toys, here's the thing. You can also get like 5% off if you use Flow Tricks as the password. Now here's the thing with these. If you go to like regular dollar stores or whatnot, or Amazon, you can find some super cheap chucks. Okay, so these chucks are not going to be $50. These chucks are going to be $200, right, for this 4-capsule nunchuck. But the thing about these chucks is these are chucks that I've used in shows. They're great, and this is $229. These are fully rechargeable. They change a lot of different colors, and I'm pretty sure I don't. When I talk about LED chucks, for me, it's all about... Yeah, this is... Whoa. Let's turn these on. Come on, Ken. Long-haired Ken. But these chucks do all different kinds of cool patterns and trails. I don't know if... I just talk a lot. Look at my hair. It's so long. Dang. Flow Toys chucks is really awesome. And then they also have the Vision chucks, which are even more awesome. The reason why I am suggesting Flow Toys chucks, though, is for a few reasons. The biggest one is that when you get those chucks, you won't ever need LED chucks again. So there you go. There are also, you won't need other LED chucks because they're bright. They do a lot of modes. You can recharge them. They have a limited lifetime warranty. They're fantastic. Now, I also have another pair that draws pictures. And if you're talking about those are my Ignis chucks. I love those chucks as well. The reason why I suggest the Flow Toys chucks is just because they're from the States. So their shipping can be easier and quicker for a lot of the people that study flow tricks. If you do Ignis, they are more fragile. Their tendency to break will go up, but they can draw pictures, any picture that you want them to draw. So using the Ignis chucks, I mean, they're amazing. I generally only use all Pixel products because what the nunchucks are is they're called Pixel products, which means they draw pictures in the air, and there's quite a few of them. I'll show you. Let's go back here and I'll show you what they look like. This is what Ignis chucks look like. See, they draw pictures, which is really fantastic. But they are more fragile. I can't go over that enough. If I get scared when I drop those just because these chucks are built very well, but there's a lot that goes into this kind of electronics. Really cool stuff though. So when I talk about Flow Toys, these are built very rugged. They've got the warranty. These are the ones that I would practice with. I wouldn't practice with the Ignis chucks, but I would perform with them. When we're talking performance, I actually perform with both the Ignis as well as the Flow Toys. But generally speaking, if you're first like if you're wanting to get your first pair, I would go with the Flow Toys. I know, again, they're a little pricier than other places, but they got that limited lifetime warranty, and they're very bright, and they're awesome. I haven't heard a person that hasn't liked those chucks. So that's where I go. Also, make sure that, again, if you go on Flow Toys, you can use Flowtrix and save 5%. Just use the coupon code Flowtrix. Pretty cool. Plus, it bumps me like something small. I get a little bit of commission, not much, but it's still something. You save a little bit of money, I get a little bit. Pretty cool. But that's what I would say. Now, the Vision Chucks are a whole nother ballpark. Those things are amazing. And unfortunately, I don't have a pair of Vision Chucks. But let's look at them for a second. These are the Vision Chucks. The reason why I don't have these, now these are just LEDs all up and down, and they have a lot more modes. You can see the kinds of pictures they can create with those too. They're fantastic. If you can afford it, I would go with Visions to start with. The reason why I don't have Vision Chucks is very simple. Because I already have really good chucks, I needed Vision stabs. So I have 2 Vision stabs instead. So I have 2 4-foot staff versions of these, because for me, it's like having Vision Chucks would be cool, but really the Vision staff is what I wanted, because I wanted huge, big, a lot of LEDs for shows, because the crowd will recognize, the bigger, wider LEDs. So that's why you don't see me with Vision Chucks. But I have seen people own them, and they're pretty awesome. They're pretty awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna continue forward with a couple more of these things that you guys. I'm glad you guys could hear me. That's good. I'm gonna translate this really quick. Translate. R2 channel says perfect. That's exactly what I was looking for. That's great. And thank you, Alexandro. He says, I'm Brazilian. I love your videos. You're very capable. I appreciate that. All right. So I'm going to go back and read just a few more comments on the YouTube channel, and then I think I'm going to close off for the night because, it is Saturday, and my brother's supposed to call me, and we're supposed to do some Borderlands 3 tonight. So we can do a little bit of video gaming. We'll see how that goes. I really like Borderlands 2. We could talk video games for quite a while. I'm like a huge gamer. Whenever I'm not working, I'm probably gaming. So, because I have no life. All right, let's go back to. There we go. Let's go back to the community channel, and I'm going to go through a couple more comments. Boggy Creek says, you look just as fast with those as you do with working with the lightweight nunchucks. I thought you've proven this before. When will others learn? This is when I said you can't do that with oak chucks, because I always get people that tell me, well, you've even heard some of the responses recently. They weren't that bad, but people say, well, I've got steel. Well, you can do that because you're using foam nunchucks. So they'll say, people will make all kinds of excuses. So my thought is, once a year, I will make a video with oak chucks or heavy chucks, and I'll just rock it out to show you guys that all your excuses are just you making excuses. Not you guys, but you know what I'm saying. People that are making excuses are just going to make their excuses. So I'm here just to prove you wrong again, show you that you can pretty much spin with anything. You just got to be careful. There's certain precautions you got to take. So yeah, that's why I made that video. Plus, it's just fun. And for some reason, whenever I say you can't do that with oak nunchucks, more people watch the video than if I titled it, hey, look at me with oak nunchucks. No one would watch it, right? Well, not no one, but you know what I'm saying. For some reason, it gets more views if I try to make it like dramatic, like rah, like I don't know. That's just weird society, That's probably why I don't have that's probably why I don't have 1 million subscribers or a lot of views, just because I don't always follow the rules that YouTube, like there's a lot of ways that you can up your viewership, but I generally just make what I want to make and hope that it works, outside of trying to like do all the fancy stuff that people try to do to get more views. I prefer keeping it authentic, even if it's a little bit sloppier. I like that better. Dennis says, show them how ninjas don't care about limitations. That's right. Genius. Ninja Bacon. That one guy disliked it. Probably the same guy that said you can't do that with oak. Probably, dude. Where do I get that training chuck? Anyone tell me? I think Karate Mart sells them. I don't really know where I get my oak chucks. I'm going to be honest, all my oak chucks are old. I haven't used oak chucks in a long time. So when I pulled that oak chuck out of the bag, it was probably like 7 or 8 years old. I usually just go to martial arts stores in my local area, though, and just find chucks that feel good. Akash says, teach me how to that's a lot. There's a lot to teach, but the ultimate goal is train every day. Do it for 5 minutes a day, every day, and you will be surprised at how quickly you can do it. You'll be surprised how quickly you can do it. But if you train 5 minutes a day, make it intense. Make it a powerful 5 minutes. Make it an awesome 5 minutes. You really can. It's like brushing your teeth. You don't brush your teeth that long, but if you do it every day, it keeps your teeth clean. Do it like that. It's like brushing your teeth. Who dared challenge the king of nunchucks? This sounds like a fighting video game right there. That just sounds like something that would happen right before I got into my big fight. Smooth. Tong says, that's badass. I've been following for a few years, but I'm nowhere near that. Haha. I mean, I think everyone's harder on themselves than they actually are. I've seen people that say that they're not very good, and I've seen them, and they're just like killing it. A lot of times we can't. So you've got different kinds of people, but a lot of times people really can't appreciate how far they've gone because they're looking at how much farther they have to go. And sometimes it's good to step back, because when I'm looking at you, sometimes people are telling me they're not very good, and I'm watching them like, geez, okay, wow, don't be so hard on yourself. Nunchaku Dude says, nice speed. Those aerials are immaculate. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to go over a few more, and then I think I'm going to call it. Captain Clawhammer, hey, what's up? I quit using chucks a few years ago, and I'm taking them up because of my arthritis is making my grip untrusty. Spinning the chucks seems to be helping me get my grip back despite the hand stiffness, trigger finger, etc. That is awesome, and I'm glad to hear that. And I do think so. I don't know how old you are, Captain Clawhammer, but I can say, as I get older, the use it or lose it thing definitely applies. It's been, and I'm not saying I'm terribly old, but I'm in my 40s now, and it definitely, if I don't maintain it, it goes away. And this is good though, because this means I have to have the habit. I have to have good habits. That's all that it means. Doesn't mean anything else. Just got to keep the good habits. All right. Rob Dog says, that's very good. Okay. A few more. Enyo says, I find in most cases, I find wooden or polymer chucks a lot easier as they have better inertia than the foam ones. I can agree with that, especially if they're tapered. All right. French Croissant, great name. I started nunchucks a few months ago and can hardly switch hands without dropping. And then someone gave him advice. Remember to practice with your non-dominant hand just as often. Your dominant hand will catch up much quicker, and you'll be doing doubles in no time. Keep up at it. I'm not sure if he wanted to learn doubles or not, but either way, that's pretty good advice. All right. Project 25012, amazing flow, dude. Thank you. Daniel 357, I say every cop needs a set of mini nunchucks. All right. Robert says, legend. I'm just going to go over a few more now. I think I'm just about done. I don't think Val Kilmer or Doc Holliday can do that with his whiskey cup. We'll have to find out. How can you do that? Oh, that's awesome. This guy is so sexy. I love seeing people who are passionate about their art. Well, thank you. That's awesome. Nassim says, nice. Totamine says, I noticed the glass is missing from the windows from behind your practice area. Those are actually, this location was a photo studio, so it was actually fake. The backdrop was fake. It was really cool. There's a lot of fake backdrops at that photo studio. Okay, a few more. Awesome. Who else wanted to learn backhand like anime? Oh, yeah, gotcha. Reverse blade. This was the reverse blade sword. That was extraordinary. Yeah, okay. I think that's good. The fact is, the nunchuck that are made of iron. Here we go. The nunchuck that are made of iron can't do freestyle, only focused on attacking style. I disagree. I bet I could grab some iron nunchucks and still do freestyle. I bet you $1 million I could grab iron chucks and do freestyle. That just won't be as fast, but I'll still be able to do it. But we've already proven that point, so what's the point? When I get enough, I'll make another video. All right, y'all. I am going to stop right here. I think I've covered a lot of them. A lot of the things. We're back to 3 weeks ago, and they just keep going, which is great. I just wish that I need to be on this a little bit more. I need to be back on the comments a little bit more. Again, though, like I said, this past month I have been taking a lot of care to myself for good reasons. I'm going back here. I was resting and relaxing, but I'm back. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to read these last comments on YouTube, and then You know, I didn't even check Facebook, so give me a second here. I haven't even seen if there's any Facebook messages. There's probably people talking to me, I'm sure. And give me a second. Where are we at? Let's take a look and see. Let me move this over. Boop. Flow tricks. Anyone say anything? Ben Phoenix. Hello, Master. Hey, Ben. Good to see you, man. I think that was the only one. Crazy. Cool. All right. I'm going to read off these last few things, and then I think I'm going to go play some video games. That sounds pretty cool. All right. So, let's see. Okay, here we go. Yeah, easy as Ken. Cheers for the stream. Wishing you all the best from Australia. Ninja Bacon, Mortal Kombat. Guys, are you guys excited for that movie or what? Tell me you guys have seen the trailer. That looks so good. Oh my gosh. The thing about Mortal Kombat is the first movie was great. I love the first movie. I wish it was a little bit more Mortal Kombat-y, a little bit bloodier. Back in the old days, you know, I was all about the video game. But, I mean, they made it family-friendly. But then after the first Mortal Kombat, they turned it into, like, the Mighty Morphing Power Rangers, where, like, the bad guy was like, ha, 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 I'm evil, I will kill you all kind of thing. Like, it was just so ridiculous. I can't believe they did that to Mortal Kombat, but that was the 90s. I get it. So this is redemption, y'all. Like, Mortal Kombat has a great opportunity to redeem themselves from the Mighty Morphing Power combat, which I really hope they take advantage of, because those movies were just, ugh. Now, a lot of anime, a lot of movies have been ported, or a lot of anime and a lot of video games have been ported successfully over into movies. So I am keeping my fingers crossed that this Mortal Kombat delivers in the way that I hope it does. Fingers crossed. You know, I watched The Witcher not too long ago on Netflix, and that was so good. Like, I think what makes it even better is the fact that I remember when all the video games that becomes movies, they were all just horrible. Like in the 90s, they just didn't know how to do it. They didn't know what to do. If it was a video game, it had to be for kids, right? But now I think people get it now. Like you can have R-rated video games that turn into movies, and you can still keep the content, and it's still good. So I'm excited about Mortal Kombat. Anyways, Captain Clawhammer's got to run. Ninja Bacon, much love, man. Appreciation for everything you do. Thank you. Started on Facebook. Wouldn't have seen the stream if it wasn't shared. No, I'm glad. I'm glad you were able to see it. And you guys, thanks again for joining and for just chatting away with me. Hope you all are doing well. And I'll get some more stuff. Keep your eyes peeled. Tomorrow I will announce our first monthly instructor. It's going to be pretty exciting. All right, y'all. Have a great night. Great Saturday, and